This week on the Fantasy Beer Name Podcast.
I do need to make a correction.
Violent sexual imagery and a whip beer.
My pockets were just full of like sausage rolls and there were just flakes falling everywhere.
I wasn't breastfed, so...
I was.
And my mum forced into a bottle.
I mean, I still need to go to Copenhagen.
Fuck Marston.
Do you remember when Jeremy Beadle died?
When the Vikings came over, there was my family going, oh, would you like a cup of tea?
I was thinking about a womb rejecting sperm-seeking jobs. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Beer Name Podcast, episode 11. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
11 episodes, Paul.
Nearly one.
Yeah. And you know what I've also realised? We originally set out to do one of these every 2 weeks, and we'll have done 12 in a year. So
Well,
we've actually averaged out around one a month.
Yeah, if that doesn't describe our work ethic, I don't know what does.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have to do something next time. Something big for the birthday episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do one of those best of, like they do in comedy shows when they've run out of ideas. Just
Yeah,
do a clip show.
To be fair, this podcast has been nothing but us taking ideas right to the nth and then running out and then thinking, fuck, we need to change it up a little bit and try and do something different.
And then just going, bye!
But the one thing that has always remained consistent is we haven't run out of beer names yet.
No, and we also haven't run out of sponsors.
No, that's true. And in fact, the sponsor is actually the one that has been all the way through it.
Consistent.
And the sponsor is Mosaic Board Printers, Europe's leading beer mat manufacturer.
The best.
Yes, so we've partnered up with those guys and they've supplied us with, all manner of lovely beer mats, and they help us. They give us the incentive to gather around each other's houses and sit in front of a couple of microphones and chat shit.
And they also pay for us to go to breweries. So,
which is what we've done recently.
Yeah, we've come back from Manchester recently on a double header excursion.
We should have a beer.
We should definitely have a beer. But all I was going to say before we have a beer is I'm trying to lay off the beer a little bit because Manchester ruined me. Man, I felt wrong when I came back.
It was a lot.
But yeah,
it wasn't just Manchester though. It was
Chorley. So
well.
Chorley and Manchester. So see if you can guess which breweries we went to see. But yeah, more will be revealed soon. That's the sound we like.
This first beer is brought to you by Amity Brew.
Amity.
And White Locks. Established in 1715. That's a long time.
I didn't even know it was
Looks like it's a
collab.
collaboration.
Yeah.
What's this one from again? Is this a Brewser box?
It's my Brewser box. I completely forgot I'd ordered it actually, but Amity, it's really good. I drank a few over this weekend with some family. And it went down really well.
We have had Amity recommended to us in at least the capacity of one comment or two on other videos.
Yes,
because I think are they based up into North?
Yeah, and I think Macamaca have been suggested as well, and we've actually got a Macamaca tonight. So all coming together. So this is a wit beer, Chris, as you said, and it's 4.6%, and yeah, it's a collaboration with White Locks, I don't know it.
The E is silent.
I don't even know what that means, but yeah, they're based up in just outside of Leeds in Farlesley, which is between Leeds and Bradford, I think. But yeah, some good stuff coming out there.
Yeah.
Ooh, smells good.
It's very citrusy, and I also just love... I'm actually finding that I'm really enjoying wit beers lately.
Oh, yeah.
There's just something about them. They're quite refreshing. Maybe the weather.
As it pisses it down outside with grey clouds overhead.
It's like it's raining constantly, but it is warm. It's almost tropical.
That's nice.
So what have we been up to? Other than venturing up to Chorley and Manchester, which we can't talk about because that's for another episode.
Oh, man, that was so much fun. But that was the big one, and we drank too much. We filmed a lot, drank way too much beer, didn't eat enough, didn't sleep particularly well, and yeah, it all got a bit silly, but fun. But yeah, we'll talk about that more, I think, maybe on our 12th episode.
Yeah, I think so. Why not? I think hopefully that content should be releasing in the next month or so. So we've got... Yeah.
Cool as.
Whatever. I was getting up to, most recently, I went to a election night lock-in.
An erection night?
Yeah, I went to an election night lock-in in my favourite bottle shop.
Jesus Christ.
I know, there's only 3 of us.
Kids today.
Yeah. There's me, Communist Dave, and young Sam. And we had a nice time.
Not Commie Dave.
I don't think Dave is a communist, to be fair.
Well.
He just looks like a good old... He looks like he's in the unions.
Yeah, he's definitely a comrade of some description.
Yeah. But no, it was good. We had a lot of beers, a lot of stuff that we had to buy off the shelves ahead of time because they couldn't sell beer after 10.
Yeah, so I went into the hop vault. We had this lock-in the next day to pick up some beers because I had some family and friends coming around. And Tom, who is the manager of the hop vault, was fuming because you guys didn't tidy up after yourselves.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. We did.
Well, he was fuming.
Yeah,
And he's gunning for you.
Yeah, to our defence, we did tidy up. There was maybe a bit of snack residue on the floor, but that's more down to probably how much beer Dave had. And,
it was definitely Dave's job to clean up.
You missed a spot. We did help, to be fair. We chipped in. We made sure everything was...
And that's when it all went wrong.
Yeah, probably. I think it's because my pockets were just full of like sausage rolls and there's just flakes falling everywhere.
Oh, so you're still carrying your sausage roll?
I've still got them in my pocket.
Yeah. Good.
Disclaimer, I wasn't actually walking around with a pocket full of sausage rolls.
You need to get yourself a pasty fanny pack.
Pasty fanny pack. That's a name for something.
Next podcast.
Smash you right in the pasty fanny pack.
Oh, no, don't do that. Violent sexual imagery. And a whip beer.
Should we talk about the podcast name, fancy beer name, this week?
Well, you blept on this one.
Yes, absolutely. So this week's fantasy beer name. So for those of you who don't listen to the podcast, or this is your first one, welcome. So this is called the Fantasy Beer Name Podcast because what we tend to do here is we name every episode after a little in-joke, and then we write these little in-jokes onto a list of what we think sound like beer names. But they're fantasy beer names because they don't exist. Or maybe they do. I've never really checked Untapped to find out.
No, we should start checking these. We're probably taking the mick out of something that literally exists.
Yeah. I could just see like a brewer at home, just like with a tear in his eye, like, I like that name, but that was my best one. Why are they trying to give that idea to Vault City? Oh, that was I already did that.
This is my home brew advice.
Yeah, but So anyway, we pick these hilarious names. The one today, this is a new one on me.
Yeah, it's not even on the list.
Didn't even go on the list. No. I was like, save that. This one is called International Meat Language.
Yes.
So this is definitely one of yours.
It is because I've been curating and evolving international meat language for the best part of 15 years.
I mean, we need to talk really about what international meat language is. It's
but it's an historic thing that myself and my wife Hannah and some friends came up with many, many years ago. I think it was at a festival, and I'll be honest with you, it was probably after way too much beer and a lot of herbal jazz cigarettes or, devil's cabbage, whatever you want to call it. You used to smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah, definitely sounds very weedy.
Yeah, and we invented the international meat language. I can't remember why, but basically it's a series of hand gestures. It's a bit like classic sign language, but meat based.
A bit like BSL, British Sign Language.
Yeah, but
not like American
British beef language, BBL. And it's just something we created when we were a bit wrecked, and then we've created it, and as we've discovered new meats, we've created new hand signals for it. It's not something that's a podcast kind of... It's not for the podcast medium, really, because it's very visual.
That's true, yeah.
But each core meat, beef, lamb, chicken, pork, it's all got their own hand signals. Yeah.
I remember because basically where I discovered this, I bumped into you in the Hop Vault on Saturday. You were there with Hannah and some of her family, and we just did the casual. Oh, what are you up to later? Are you going to be in later? It's like no. You're like Hannah's cooking a paella, and then Hannah turned around and did this hand signal that's like the thumb and the pinky. I mean, the people watching will be able to see this. She just looked at you and went, and I was like, what is that? Is that like sign language for paella? And she went, oh no, is that prawn? I don't know. And I was like, what are you talking about? And you started talking to her about some sort of like other hand signal. You go, no, that's prawn.
She forgot. It's been a while, but she thought that was prawn when actually just holding up your pinky.
Jesus Christ. And I was like, what is going on? Because them sold it to me. I thought this must be a real thing.
Oh, it is.
Well, it's a real thing because
we started documenting it at one point.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird pastime.
It's one of those weird things that you forget about, and then it comes into your brain. And when you meet somebody, who was part of that initial conversation, you'll just be able to, without even remind them about it, just make a hand gesture, and they'll go, lamb.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
sausage.
You've booked
Fish.
me in for some international meat language training.
Yeah, well, I think it's a must.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to learn it. We could probably do like international beer language.
Yeah, we could do international beer and meat language pairing.
Yeah, match the symbols.
Yeah.
Because it might be like a Masonic secret. Matching the symbols might actually work better than matching the beer and the food itself.
Yeah,
like you might think that won't work, but actually the symbols work together really well.
like you sit like scissors.
Yeah,
scissors
and then
sisters,
actually it's like it really works.
Look, you would have thought wheat beer goes with fish.
Yeah, this is taking a real tangent. I don't think this is our strongest fancy beer name, but
no, it's just relevant.
It was prescient for me because it made me chuckle while I was walking to Tesco, and then I was like, I love that
international language. The thing is, it's not even international yet. It's just national. I think we've over-egged it a little bit, to be honest with you. I mean, it's nice to have goals and aims and dreams, but it's more colloquial at the moment.
Indeed.
And now, time for a word from PlanetBeerTV sponsor.
From Tokyo to Timbuktu, an international language grew. Poultry points and bovine signs. International meat language time. Meat T digits, no sign for rice. Meat and signs only also nice. Beef and chicken and rabbit and prawn. International meat language born. But what's the sign for pastrami cut so fat as the juicy thickness of a beer mat? One that's crafted with lithographic print, with top quality pulpboard and vibrant ink. Mosaic board printers, the best beer mats. There's no sign in meat language that captures that fat. Get some beer mats, don't matter who you are. You could be a business, a brewery or a bar. Mosaic board printers will do you proud. Tell them this podcast sent you, it will save you a few pounds.
That was Nathan and the Inkjets with International Meat Language. So Nathan and the Inkjets are the house band for our sponsors at Mosaic Board Printers. Thank you very much to Mosaic Board Printers, Europe's leading beer mat manufacturer.
I was just going to say, his voice changes quite a lot. He's
does.
got a really great voice. He can just jump between genres.
A broad range.
Yeah. It's like Bloodhound Gang a little bit, that was.
That was, yeah. It was very Bloodhound Gangy. It was weird, though, because he sent me a message saying that he wanted it to be a bit more like Pet Shop Boys. So, no, which I can kind of hear as well. It's like Pet Shop Boys had an orgy with Bloodhound Gang, maybe.
He needs to drop that American accent he suddenly started putting on there to make it more Pet Shop Boysy.
It kind of just went, didn't it? Yeah.
Never mind.
No, very good. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Nathan. And the Inkjets.
So, I'm going to do something really weird now.
Okay.
Because we're going to talk about... We're actually going to jump straight into Steve Powers' The Doom Bar.
Legend Steve.
But the problem is, we're still on a light beer. And I think, what have we got here? We've also got a West Coast Pils from Celestial Beerworks.
We could jump to a dark beer. Let's not.
I've actually got the perfect dark beer that I saved up for
Let's have that
Dunbar
now.
episode.
If you think that's relevant, and we'll find out in a minute why, let's have it.
So there's a couple of things to mention in the Dunbar today. So
You went a bit Louis Theroux again there.
So there's a little bit. So hey guys, we're here today, and I'm going to talk about all the bad stuff that's happening in the beer world.
I feel silly.
It's so strange being here talking with my friend Paul.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
I don't know.
I feel like I've outstayed my welcome.
I feel like I'm getting it less Kermit now.
It's getting less Kermit, but it's going into more Fozzie Bear, perhaps a little bit. Well, anyway.
So the beer that I've picked for Steve Power's The Dunbar is one from Chapter Brewing.
I see where this is going.
Yeah. So Chapter Brewing, based up north, Sutton Weaver in Cheshire. They unfortunately ceased trading a couple of months ago.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah, I think it was beginning of June actually. So I got their Brewser box as their last hurrah, and they threw in this one here, which is Deadman 7. It's a barrel-aged smoked porter at 7%.
Ooh, 7%? I thought we were just drinking
So
session beers
it's the
today.
7th birthday blend of our champion beer of Britain, category winner, Deadman's Fist, and a curated selection of imperial stouts from our barrel aging program. So they've just thrown this in. It's like they've emptied the barrels. Let's make one last hurrah beer.
Oh, man. And why is this relevant to the Dunbar?
Because we're going to be talking about, sadly, I think, a couple of closures.
Yeah. I think one is definitely sad.
One's definitely sad.
The other is sad depending on which way you want to look at it.
The other is just like a wrecking ball to our heritage,
Yeah.
being from the Midlands. So let's talk about that one first. So Marston's, who are of Banks's brewery fame, they're basically Banks's in Wolverhampton. They're them called Marston's for some reason.
Still don't know why.
Not really sure
No.
when that kind of happened.
No.
But yeah, they obviously entered into a sale or got bought by Carlsberg because they're Carlsberg Marston's.
2020?
2020. I know it's because every time I was driving past it on the way to my parents, I'd just see like the sign keep changing.
Under new ownership
The
again.
new ownership, yeah. So yeah, they've
You're going to pour this beer?
yeah. Sorry,
I've never known anything like it. You do it.
never known Dead Man's Porter like it. Yeah, and ultimately they've announced that they're shock horror ceasing brewery production at that site. So, I mean, it's not really a surprise given that I don't think Banks's bitter has even existed for the last God knows how long.
No, not in any way we'd recognise it as Banks's bitter anyway.
An official capacity. So yeah, I thought that would be quite interesting to talk about, just from a sense of, I think everyone kind of saw it coming eventually.
Yeah.
They've said ultimately, look, guys, we're stopping the brewing because, we want to focus on the pubs.
Well, we've completed brewing. We
Yeah.
don't think we can get any better at it. They thought to themselves.
It's literally the best it could ever be.
There's literally this is the pinnacle of brewing craftsmanship here, and we're never going to top it. So here, let's call it a day. That they said to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they already retired Banks's bitter and that. They were thinking, you know what, let's just stop this here a few years ago. Let's just call it Sunbeam now.
Yeah,
Let's just make another one.
fucking Sunbeam.
Sunbeam is disgusting.
God, what dredge.
And a front to cask brewing.
Yeah. Anyway, let's have a swig of this bad because
yeah.
it's smelling great, by the way.
Yeah, so this chapter one, I mean, good bit of thickness to that. Nice bit of head retention.
Totally fruity.
I said loads of fruit.
A little bit of cocoa.
Only a bit of smoke. Not loads of smoke.
Yeah, I'm not massively into smoked beers, to be honest with you, and this is very subtle.
Are you not a Rausch beer man?
I don't mind a Rausch because that's so far in the other direction. that
Yeah.
It's almost comical.
It's like drinking ashtrays, but in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That smells amazing, you know.
It tastes good as well.
Oh, no, it's smoky.
That's cool, man.
Oh yeah, like that. It's only 7% as well.
It's fruity, which I think is like some of the more good news stories in our Doombust series here.
Oh, fruity.
But it's also nice and bitter and smoky, like burned pubs.
Which is our first one.
Which is our first one,
when
yeah.
the Crooked House got burned
Yeah.
down, much to national shame.
Which was Marston's. They sold that pub on because they didn't want it anymore. And they clearly didn't give a fuck who they sold the pub to because they didn't do their due diligence on the people who ended up buying
Well,
it
this
and
surprises
torching
me
it,
a
did they?
lot, really, because I think Marston's are quitting brewing altogether now, right? So that's done. Marston as a beer maker is no more, but they are going to focus on running pubs, right? And obviously, just like they're brewing, they are the best management of pubs in the world. Probably they've reached the pinnacle of how to run amazing pubs. So it really
Pubs.
surprises me that they've fucked up selling it to somebody. Because that's not my experience in Marston's pubs.
No,
Everything's immaculate.
always works really nicely. The beer is always good. Food's
So
even
cutting,
better.
it's hurting me.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck Marston's.
fuck 'em, man. Like I say, it's just sad that that's like our old brewing heritage, really.
Yeah. I think we said it before. I was raised on Banks's.
I mean, they pretty much.
I mean, not
They-
like I was a baby.
No, they used to though. That was the thing.
Yeah, and then
I don't know about when it was your age.
pouring mild into my mouth.
Yeah.
I didn't have the palate for bitter when I was 2.
No. Well, that was where the original concept for milk stout came from. It was all the breastfeeding mums that were just basically just drinking Banks's.
That's just science.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why it
Yeah.
was a milk stout.
Yeah. I wasn't breastfed, so
No, no, I was.
my mom forced it into a bottle.
I was breastfed.
That's I don't know where you're going to go with this, to be honest.
No, I don't know where I want to go.
And your
with it.
mom really likes like fruit smoothie sours,
She does. But
which is kind of
I've still got
milk-based.
some in my fridge and I don't want them. Maybe
No,
I'll just
I
give them to her.
Yeah, hope she doesn't lactate. You wanted to go somewhere.
I mean, no promises, I guess.
Right, moving swiftly on. The devastation
Continues.
continues. Are we done with Marston's? Because quite frankly, I don't care.
Oh, fuck them now. I don't care.
No. But yeah, just to wrap up the Doom bar, the Doom in this segment is because, as you said, heritage gone. Final nail in the coffin.
All very predictable. But
Well done,
What it
Carlsberg. You've won capitalism.
Yeah.
It is a blue plaque.
cheers, Denmark.
Yeah. You. No, I like Denmark though.
I know.
Say something really disparaging. But I like
That's why it's such a head fuck for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I still need to go to Copenhagen.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, in fact, I've not been to any of the Scandi countries.
Have you not?
No.
No, it's great. We'll do a thing. We'll go there.
And as I revealed in the podcast with Johnny Garrett on the Friday 5 p.m. when we kind of went off talking about DNA tests and ancestry, I worked out that I've got some Scandinavian heritage, so I need to
Here's the thing on
to honour that.
Here's the thing on that. I've long been of the opinion that my family comes from like the centre of England, like from the primordial ooze that would have started in the Midlands, and we've done a load of research, my dad and on my mum's side, and that's actually the case.
Yeah.
We've literally come from the Midlands from thousands of years gone back on both sides of the family. It's got to be so boring.
Thousands of years. Yeah, I mean, you can't necessarily trace that back, but I get the sentiment.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've been here a long time.
Thousands and thousands of years, but just devolving into like sludge.
So what you're saying is when the Nazis come around saying, go back to where you came from, you're literally like saying, I can't, I physically could only get back into the swamp
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
primordial Midlands sludge.
When the Vikings came over, there was my family going, "Oh, would you like a cup of tea?"
Yeah. Class, that's so like your parents. Your parents would
so
just,
boring.
yeah, they'd just be so polite about it.
Got
Cup of tea.
got nothing of interest in our family. No cool cultural.
Although nowadays,
lineage.
your dad would probably be like, do you want a can of Sonoma?
Yeah, I know, but that's I think that maybe that's what it is. Now Marston's gone, Banks's is dead. The kind of ceremonial passing on of Banks's is my dad moving on to craft beer because
It feels
fitting.
That feels right.
Yeah. He's from Wolverhampton,
Yeah.
Would have been drinking that stuff again, from a boy.
Beautiful.
Well, he would have been from a glass, but don't recommend you drink beer from children. But yeah, I think that's a fitting end from my point of view for Banks's. So
Yeah. Yeah, so where are we going with the rest of the Doom Bar? I think we still need to talk about the other closure that's happened.
Oh yeah, that happened today,
Which is one hot off the press.
Of this time of talking, that was today, so the 9th of July. Bundobust. I'm desperately not going to do the
Don't do the pun.
No,
Don't do the pun.
desperately try not to do that. But Bundobust, if you don't know, is a chain, a very good chain of Indian themed. I'm trying to be really careful with my words here because they've got quite a niche, haven't they? But they're essentially they're craft beer and Indian food.
It's really hard not to do the pun.
Yeah,
but think about if you're a paper. Do you remember when Jeremy Beadle died?
Yeah.
And
do you know Jeremy Beadle had a really big dick? But on the other hand,
yeah. But Jeremy Beadle, when he died, because Beadle's about and all that, and I think it was the Sun or one of the newspapers. Their headline on it was "He's not about." It was just so brutal.
So Beadle's not about. Watch out! You don't have to because Beadle's not about.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's low hanging fruit.
Let's do it.
And,
Bundobust,
Gumbust. Yeah. We're only in Birmingham though.
But only in Birmingham. So they've got a bunch of restaurants: Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, and they decided to get ideas above their station and come down south a bit and do one in Birmingham, but in classic Birmingham city centre fashion.
Just delivers a cosmic fuck you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and being completely inhospitable, like a inhospitable womb is to sperm.
Yeah.
It rejects new business and small business like there's no tomorrow.
I'm just thinking about a womb rejecting sperm-seeking jobs.
Get back to your own penis.
Go back to where you came from.
So yeah, that's a shame because it was they'd spent a load of money on that building and the food was great. They were a brewery as well, so they do their own beer, but they had quite a few guest beers on. And it was good, man. Everyone had really good things to say about it.
I went there recently with Johnny Macro.
Did you really?
Yeah, we had a selection of the breads there, like the parathas and stuff, and we worked our way through their menu, especially on the lagers. They had like a coriander lager as well, which was really good.
I imagine bread and lager is Johnny Macro's sweet spot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Although he didn't like the bread, it was
too crazy.
It was too vegetarian.
I like white bread, Chris.
But yeah, no, it's a sad one. But also, it's hard not to see the kind of correlation with the fact that it's only just around the corner from where your place went bust as well.
I mean,
I just don't think that's a good area. It's not a good area.
Birmingham city centre is an absolute mess for independent businesses. It's great for chains, they seem to do well, but I don't know what it is about Birmingham. It just doesn't attract that kind of indie crowd.
We got like I suppose where Bundobust was, you've got quite a few of the chain kind of things. You got like the Las Iguanas and Head of Steam and all that. It's all just like down that one street.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see how it's a difficult sell for them. They probably would have been better moving into the outskirts, which is where like the hipster quarter.
But that's the thing. They're probably too much of a chain for the hipster quarters. You know what I mean? Because you've got more than one venue that is more than 10 square foot and isn't dilapidated and falling down. You're not going to be appreciated. I think it was a brave move to try and do that in the current financial crisis. To be honest with you, but it was
obviously North went fucked there as well.
North that's what I'm saying.
North Birmingham.
Nothing in Birmingham seems to stick at the moment, and the council needs to sort itself out because it's run by donkeys. It really is.
On a plus point, I noticed the other day when I went to the carnival in Stourbridge that there is a new Aztec-themed adventure golf on Mill Race Lane Industrial Estate in Stourbridge.
Is there really?
Yeah.
There's also a dining club, like Digbeth Dining Club.
Yeah, there's it's called Stourbridge Social.
Yeah, it's got like Hangry Moose there.
If you're ever in the Stourbridge area, though, don't go there. I mean, I don't know if it's any good, so I couldn't possibly
It's
sell
meant
it
to be
you.
very good. I saw some good videos of it. My mate sent me, but
I did see that they're selling Attic and another Birmingham brewery that I can't think of the name of. Glasshouse?
can't remember.
Glasshouse? Yeah, they're selling Seshi
Don't
and
follow.
Intuition. And they're selling it at a decent price for a pint, really. So it kind of seems like they know what they're doing.
Blimey.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? But if you're in the Stourbridge area, just go to the hot vault instead.
Yeah.
Like 20 taps,
Yeah.
loads of bottles and cans and lovely customer service, depending on who you get.
Yeah. I mean, there used to be a bar just around the corner from Hot Vault. It closed down a while back, which was quite...
wearing the shirt for it.
No, not that. Not that. That wasn't any self-promotion. There was another one called Bar Bridge.
Oh, shit, I love Barbridge.
It was the definition of a dive bar.
Yep.
As in, it was a bar and it was a complete dive. But, man, there were some rough people in there.
Yeah.
And some characters.
It was the place where, for some reason, they opened at like 10:30 and the bar would be full at 11 o'clock when you walk past, when you're just like getting the shopping or something, and then you realise, wow, all the Carlin louts are in there drinking.
I remember going in about midday after a bit of shopping, like you said, for a quick drink, because I had all the shit beer on, but they also had like some really good craft beer taps on, which was kept really well.
At a ridiculous price as well. Because they just wanted to get it in, and the guy who ran it was just really into it.
Yeah.
None of his regulars were, but he just wanted to get the people who know in.
Yep.
And
so I go in for a beer, and there was a guy sat at the bar, sort of asleep in his pint, pretty much, with a pint of, I can imagine Scrumpy, or Rattler. No, it was.
oh, Rattler! He used to sell
gonna be
Rattler
a
for like £2.75 a pint.
So
That's crazy.
for some reason I couldn't get up the bar, and he was taking up about 8 spaces at the bar, which is only a small one. And the manager just sort of pushed him off his chair. He just slumped onto the floor and said, "What can I get you, pal?" I said, "Well, get him an ambulance because he's not breathing." But that was the Anyway, I digress. That was a cool place.
It was really
closed.
Cool. Yeah, it was
for some reason.
I mean,
I think he got raided 3 times.
They got raided and closed down for Downing Street style lockdown parties.
Oh yeah,
I heard. Yeah,
there's one going on until 3 o'clock in the morning with about 85 people at the bar, and the bar can only hold about 8.
Yeah,
or 8.5.
But anyway, yeah, whatever happened to it in the end, it just didn't last, and it's a shame because it was literally like as a bar, you wouldn't have known when you're in there that you're in Stourbridge. It felt like a place where you would be in like London, or dare I say it, Birmingham, if it did have a nice dive bar there. You know, it had this kind of city-esque vibe. It was just that there wasn't the city-esque yuppies in there or the hipsters. It was more just sort of like
you're not going to see these places
folk.
in like small towns anymore. They're just not going to happen. They're going to be almost pretentiously big city hipster venues now, like designed to be like dive bars.
Are you telling me that you can't feel the winds of change after we've got a new government? Thank you, Mr. Scorpions.
They're always doing that way, as opposed to the classic pouted version.
So, I mean, that's pretty much the Doom Bar closed, right? We've covered what we need to there.
Yep.
Because I felt that while we're talking about our much missed Barbridge, which was full of uncultured lager louts, it made me think of the uncultured lager louts that we love on the channel, Mr. Carling and Johnny Macro, who we had the most recent beer boot camp video with, which is one of my favourites, Paul. So let's have a little bit of a chat about that.
Okay. Shall I pour a beer?
Oh, yes, let's have a beer first, actually, yeah.
Okay, so I've bought tonight, Chris, Celestial. These are from Brew Export, so American.
Are these from
Would
Texas?
you believe it? Dallas, yeah.
This is interesting. I thought you would have bought this from Rivington. I thought you got it from the fridge in Rivington. Rivington.
No, there was another one I got from the fridge at Rivington, and I can't remember what it was.
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
No, it's weird because obviously the Celestial Beerworks are going to be at Rivington Farm Trip.
They are.
So very exciting.
Yes.
And we're going to be there. Are you? Rhetorical question.
We are going to be there, and I was just thinking, how much do we say? Because we still need the discussion with Rivington about what we're doing.
Don't say anything yet.
So I'm not going to say anything. But it's going to be good.
Plenty of time for that to fall through.
So we've got Celestial, then from Dallas. Big hats and oil.
Pickup trucks and guns and the Babel.
And JR.
JR, yeah.
Those massive gold chains that hang from wrists.
Yeah.
Those little, I think the sort of bolo ties.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a weird cable that's just been put together with
Yeah, that kind of thing. So that's Dallas.
If you're from Texas, holla in the comments. Or don't, whatever.
Yeah. If you can stop seceding for just a minute.
Yeah. I went to Texas and
I worked in Texas.
They fucking love talking about how Texas is like, it would be like the 6th biggest economy in the world if it was its own thing.
Yeah, that's kind of evolved now. Like if you listen to people on Reddit, it's always, hey, Texas is like 18 Europes all put into one.
It's a lot.
It's a
lot of Europes.
It isn't.
The band. The band.
Europe the band. Yeah, it is a bit like 18 Europe the bands. Yeah. Anyway, Celestial, let's not alienate any more of our audience. Celestial Beerworks then. So, West Coast Pills. Nice.
Lovely.
And this is, I did see the hop somewhere. Oh, yeah. Citra, Eldorado, and Strata. And it's 5.2%. So this is going to be a hoppy little mother.
Boom. Cheers, young man. Thank you.
That smells amazing.
This is a really interesting beer style, West Coast Pills.
Yeah.
Because this is a new one, isn't it? This is like one of the things that have kind of come out of a bit of beer innovation as late.
Ooh. What's that?
I don't even know what's going on.
What's it doing?
It's like I get that it's a weird crossover between a lager and a West Coast, but there's still...
It's like Helles style lager, but it's got a weird caramel, fruity note to it.
Yeah. That's so crisp and clean. I'm going to friggin' neck that.
Oh, I'm not sure I like this, guys. Oh.
You're not a fan?
Yeah, just stop buggering around with lagers.
5.2%. I think that's so crispy.
It's almost like it has to be... You have to separate it from lager in your head.
Yeah. Crispy.
I'm gonna try and enjoy it on its own terms.
I mean, if you don't want that in a bit...
No, you're not having it.
I was going to say give it to Luke behind the podcast, but...
Luke, do you want something? We never give you any beer.
He's just looked very politely and made a hand gesture which could be taken both ways.
Luke's
He's just gone...
I saw Luke on Instagram boxing.
He does box.
Yeah, looking dangerous. And in it, there's a picture with his top off, ladies. And I'll be honest with you, it made me go a little bit wet.
Sign me up.
Yep. Rippling he was.
Ripped. Where were we?
I don't know. My mind's travelled.
Beer Boot Camp. We were talking about Celestial Beerworks as well. You got those off Brew Export.
Mm-hmm.
That beer you're not so keen on, West Coast Pills. It's
give it time. I'm going to try see if it just seeps in. Yeah.
It could. I mean, to be fair, riding off the back of a barrel aged smoked porter, it's.
We haven't done this arse about
you're gonna need to take a bit of a climatization.
It's growing on me.
But yeah, Beer Boot Camp.
Yes,
a really fun one to film.
Yes, great day. Enjoyed that. We started really early, so we arrived at our venue, which again was the Hop Vault. They need to start sponsoring us, you know.
Yeah.
And then we arrived there really early, way before they'd opened.
We say way before. It was like 10 o'clock.
No, we were there a good hour, I think. Well, I was anyway.
Oh, 9 o'clock, yeah. I had to pick you up at McDonald's breakfast.
Yeah. And we had Johnny Macro with us.
Yep.
We had a newcomer.
Carling.
Who we dubbed Carling because that's a type of lager. God, we're so funny. And then the idea being we both chose Carling or Johnny Macro, and we had 1 hour to educate them to the best of our ability, which is lacking apparently. In the styles of beer that we love. So they could then go and do a blind tasting, and guess which style of beer they were drinking. So that was a fun day. It was chaotic.
It was chaotic, and it was all done in about 4 hours as well. We started rolling about 10:15, and then I think we finished about 1:45.
Yeah, it was great.
It was like literally we didn't fuck around.
I was down to our cameraman.
Shout out to Lloyd who joined us on that one.
He was great
as the cameraman,
professional.
Really pushed it.
Yep.
But no, it was loads of fun. Actually filmed in mid-April.
Was it really?
Yeah, but I've only just released the video. It's because when you're sitting on something that's like, there was a lot of footage there to play around with, and there was so many different ways that we could have presented it, and it just took time. There was like several edits done, and then I just had to keep going back to it. And
you had an existential crisis about how to deliver the end.
There was that. And then also, I think, because we didn't specify to Johnny or Carl how to taste the beers at the end, like in what order. And I think in my head, when we originally came up with the idea for the video, and like when I was kind of cutting it in my head, thinking we can just split screen it.
Yep.
So like Carl can be there, Johnny can be on the left, and then they're both trying the beer, and then they both make their guesses. But they went and guessed in like different orders.
We didn't tell them though.
No.
We drank quite a lot of beer ourselves at this point, because obviously we were tasting and sampling and getting stuff from behind the bar.
I'm pretty sure that I slur a couple of times.
Yeah, you would definitely.
And you do as well.
How dare you?
Yeah, I've definitely heard you slurring it.
How dare you, sir? Take it back, sir. But
recant that. Is it recant?
Recant.
Recall.
No, it's recant. You can recant.
Yeah, recant. Yeah. Recant that.
Recant that, sir. How dare you? So after the fact, I knew we were pissed because we had a bit of a debrief, didn't we, in the vaults of the hot vault, and we were pissed. It just hit us how quick we were.
I tried to edit that.
We got drunk,
and I was like, this isn't going out.
Yeah, this can't be shown
this
to
isn't
the public.
going out. No. In fact, actually, I'm going to play a little clip right now, but just to show you why this didn't make it.
The winner, by 2 correct answers, is dum 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 da dum. Colin! I love you so much. Oh, thank you. What are you doing later?
Whatever you want to do.
Cheeky.
Fucking hell.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
Okay, so
I've got to stop making suggestive sexual approaches to people we work with. Sorry, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, there's a theme coming. I'm going to Weinstein.
They're good-looking boys.
I'm going to Weinstein you.
Oh no!
You could be Schofield. You could be Planet Beer's very only Philip Schofield, Paul Schofield.
One of us is Schofield in this relationship.
Can I be the 16-year-old boy?
Always. So, all your life.
But yeah, so that never made it because, I mean, I think for those of you who've just seen that and listened to that, that's the reason why. That was kind of the calibre. It was entertaining for me to watch it back, but I was like...
No. Tell you what was good? I was really impressed with Carling and Johnny Macro's acting chops.
They did really well. That little segment that we had in the middle where we knew we wanted to break it up with a bit of like Top Gear-esque hijinks. We knew that was going to be something we wanted to kind of punctuate the middle.
And that just happened because I think Hannah...
Well, at one point,
came in.
Didn't you say you wanted to go for lunch at one point? So it was kind of like a real thing.
Kind of. It kind of just evolved itself into that because Hannah just walked in without any care that we were filming and just dumped a book on the table. So
yeah,
that then became part of it.
That was genuine. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to riff on that a little bit. So that fed into the "I'm going for lunch" joke, and then there was spectacular dialogue between Carl and Johnny.
I mean, let's just replay that. So lambic beer is you can't. The
You're gonna have to stop
it.
it.
What?
Carl's calling. Carl?
All right, John. How you getting on?
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Yeah, is Chris gone for lunch as well?
Of course he hasn't gone for lunch. He's teaching me.
What's that?
Paul's just gone for lunch.
Hang on, has Paul gone for lunch?
Yeah, Paul's gone for lunch. Can't call him, see ya.
Leave it. No, we can win. But yeah, no, I love that. Like, it's good because obviously we're used to it. We're used to kind of going in front of camera and we riff a lot of jokes before we start filming and kind of how we're going to get the introduction this time and how we're going to do this. But for them to just kind of fall in line in a kind of... and just be so organic with it.
Yeah.
And what wasn't planned, but what I think worked perfectly was the fact that goose, the Gerza, was the beer that we decided to do it on. And it was genuinely horrifying, Carl, because it's that moment when he looks over at the bottle and is like, "There's bits in it," and you can see it as it progresses.
That was genuine horror. That you had
As
to
it
drink
progresses,
that.
it just kind of starts foaming. And I was like, "This is brilliant," because just watching his face in real time, it was great.
Big love to Carl and family, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. And I suppose then the only other thing to talk about is the kind of reception that we had to it, which has all been very positive. There's been a couple of comments that have pulled me up, and I do need to make a correction.
Well, look,
Need to make a correction here.
Just something that we need to keep getting off our chests, right? We, in no way, shape, or form, represent ourselves as experts in this beer world in any way. In fact, we're very, very clear that we're just enthusiasts, and we're doing this because we love modern beer. We love the industry. We love hearing cats meow in the background. And
Every fucking time.
every bloody
episode.
But we don't know what we're talking about half the time. We know enough
We
just
are-
to blag it through.
We are the epitome of social media, and what is social media known for? Misinformation and the spreading of it. So, yeah, it turns out that I misspoke, and I said that Brett is a bacteria. I think it was me that said it.
Yeah, Brettanomyces is a bacteria.
And it turns out that Brett is a fungi or a yeast.
Yeah.
Now, I knew this, but at the time, few beers deep, and obviously just riffing and going along with it and teaching Johnny Macro. John, come up here. No.
Just taking a cat break, everybody.
Cat
The
sounds
Barbara
like fucking-
Streisand of cats has come in.
I'd rather it be Barbara Streisand than Celine Dion. Have you seen her when she had those fits? It's quite horrible.
She turned into stone.
Yes.
Well, not literally,
Really
but you know,
horrible.
it was horrible.
Anyway,
Anyway,
that's happened to my cat.
yes, I'd hate it. I'd hate it to happen to anyone's cat. I'd hate it if Celine Dion turned into a cat and then turned into stone. And guys, if you could choose any celebrity to turn into any inorganic material, who would it be, and what would the material be? Leave us a note in the comments.
That's one. I'm glad I don't have to answer that because it'd be a difficult one to answer.
Michael Sheen, Moss.
Kate Moss.
Too obvious. On
Kate
the
Moss,
nose.
a can of Sheen.
Yeah. Kate Moss, a spray can of Mr. Sheen furniture polish.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, that could go on.
but yes. So obviously, correcting that now, I do know what Brett is. Thank you. I've got my "You Don't Know Brett" level 6 badge on Untapped.
You have been told. I love the comments as well. Brett's not a... What did he say?
Brett is not a bacteria.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Brett is not a bacteria.
Yeah.
And then not a follow-up to tell you what it actually was in case that'd help. It's just, that's it. My work here is done. You've been proven wrong.
Yeah, and then thankfully there was someone that was a bit more polite and went, Brett's a strain of yeast. It's like, yeah, I mean, I did know that, I just didn't communicate it well enough.
Yeah.
So this is my official apology.
Angus Young from AC/DC, yeast.
Yeah. I do think, I mean, in my defence, I do think there's an element of pedantry about it, considering these are for beginners. And I don't think that me telling Johnny Macro that it's a bacteria instead of a yeast would have helped him get that right.
Yeah, that wasn't the problem. Yeah.
I haven't told Johnny Macro we've had this comment pop up just in case he ends up blaming me for him not getting that correct.
I mean, he did text me shortly after that and said, I would have smashed this if I'd have known that it was actually a type of yeast and not a fungus, because I know what fungus
He's a fun guy.
And that confused me.
Johnny Macro is a fun guy.
Don't do that.
But no, that was, like I say, it's always nice to get comments, the good and the bad. So,
Yeah, that's as bad as it gets. It's fine.
yeah, I mean, fuck yeah. We're doing really well. And like I say, I'm really happy with that video. I think it kind of sets the standard for the sort of stuff that I'd like to do as our big pieces.
So we've got, again, we won't give too much away, but we've got a load of ideas for that kind of themed approach to beer learning, I think. And it's going to involve different people from different walks of life. Some might be more well known than others, maybe. Who knows?
Possibly, yeah.
There could be people from areas that you wouldn't expect to be on a beer channel. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And there might be some crossovers, maybe. Who knows? But I think what we need to do is come October, well, September really, isn't it? But come September, we need to do an Oktoberfest lager-focused beer school.
Yeah. I think that would be really interesting. So, like, beer boot camp again, but this time...
Beer boot camp. I said beer school, didn't I?
Yeah, that's all right.
I don't watch our videos. I keep telling you this.
I know. Beer boot camp, but, I mean, this would be fucking difficult, man. I think we'd struggle. We probably need to test this before we actually start trying to teach it to Carl and Johnny. But
Well, I've got some news. I know someone who's now qualified.
Oh, did Hannah get a level 2 Cicerone?
She got the results yesterday.
Oh,
Passed with flying colours, 90%.
well done.
So she's now a level 2 certified Cicerone who knows way more than we do.
Fantastic.
So she could probably line us up some stuff and
That-
tell us what to say.
That just means now she's going to have to join us on set to basically be the continuity supervisor and make sure that I don't get into a Brett
with
bacteria.
an earpiece and clipboard.
Yeah, she needs to
monitoring
go.
from the
No.
sidelines. Yeah.
You just said that, can't say that. Yeah, so I think it would be very, very fun to do with lager.
Yeah.
Like, Hell's, Bock, Vienna Lager, Pils. Let's keep going. Kolsch.
Kolsch is a lager. It's an ale.
It's still classed as a lager. It's top fermented rather than bottom fermented, but it's still classed as a lager.
It's lagered.
Yeah, so that's classed as a lager.
Yeah, this is where it gets complicated, you see. This is where we need an expert.
Either way,
Baltic Porter.
Kolsch is going on there.
Fair
Right.
enough.
All right, because it's quite interesting.
Berkshire, Weisens, things like that.
Yeah, why not?
Get them all in.
We could really fight, couldn't we, about the Kolsching? We could really.
I want to find what's the most ridiculous lager that almost couldn't even be conceived as a lager taste or visually, but is classed as a lager.
Madry.
Nice. Aye.
No, it's that. That's
How
it's
dare you? That's authentically Spanish.
it's very-
from Nottingham.
it's very lager. It's just not very Spanish.
It's very shit.
Yeah, I can't remember what macro score I gave it when we did the craft versus macro. I think it actually did okay. In the
Oh,
ratings.
really?
We should do that again with you in it because you weren't there for that.
I don't want to drink Madry though. Just don't. I don't want to. Life's too short. I've got
No,
bigger
you drink
fish to
5
fry.
of one, 5 of another.
Got
You just
bigger
wouldn't know which
fish
are
to
which.
fry.
Bigger fish. Nice. But yeah, I think doing a lager version, it'd be difficult. I think we'd probably have to trial it first, but I think
there's a lot more to lager as a category that most people realise. I think it'd be really interesting, mainly because I think we're getting Johnny Macro's hopes up because we told him over the weekend that we'd be doing a lager version of this, and he got very excited. So we need to go out of our way to ruin his.
I think he's expecting a lot of beer and Moretti's and no.
Oh, Johnny.
Anyway, let's wrap this up because we're very much.
What's your favourite meat?
My favourite meat is what's lamb? You never showed me lamb. Lamb, but actually, I don't eat lamb other than Easter
So why did you say it was your favourite meat?
because I fucking love it. But I really struggle with the moral concept of eating lamb. But
I'm like that with people, but still do it.
wow, okay, cannibalism, fantastic. That's a good way to end it.
Cannibalism.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. Join us next time when we turn 1, and it's going to be a special birthday episode. But we haven't got any guests or anything yet, so we'll have to just try and pull something out of our ass.
We're still not old enough to drink. This is mental.
Yeah. Wow. Bye. Bye.
The Fantasy Beer Name podcast is brought to you by Planet Beer TV. This episode was recorded by Luke Bartlett. Thanks once again to our wonderful sponsors, Mosaic Board Printers.